you know who does look a play caller that looks like he wants out of his current situation, though, huh?
Wait, are you saying Grubb or Kelly?
I was going to say Chip Kelly. This one, Joe, a little bit not really surprises me. I thought all year, and even when we talked about UCLA and Chip Kelly, Joe, I felt like this year was a prove it year. Like, hey, this is the year that you got to make some things happen. I'm not really shocked by Chip Kelly wanting to head back to the NFL or taking interviews. This is the least shocking thing to me at all. Now, what's more shocking to me is if you remember, there was a lot of sourcing that people thought that he was going to get fired at UCLA. Then he got retained, and now he's wanting NFL jobs or interviewing for NFL jobs. Looking like it's not going to happen, though. I mean, looks like Cliff Kingsbury might head to the Commanders. The Raiders made their offensive coordinator hire. Maybe Chip was just taking some interviews, trying to get some interest. It doesn't look like Chip's going anywhere, though, huh?
Yeah, I think the number of open opportunities is kind of really dwindled. There's really only like a couple that are still unconfirmed and on the table. But this whole thing is a cluster F. Like this whole thing, I feel so bad for UCLA fans, even if they even exist, that this is what they're dealing with, because the administration's too lazy to really think through if they wanted to fire him and to even really talk to him, apparently, because he's now looking around for these opportunities. And you could tell, as I mentioned way earlier at the beginning of the show, his commitment to the football program this offseason was piss poor. They signed like 10 kids in the 2024 class. They didn't sign that many kids. And all the recruits that they brought in were like backups on other rosters. They didn't go bring anybody in that made the team a lot better. They've regressed significantly because they put in no effort. He didn't, and the whole coaching staff didn't. It felt like they lost DeAnthony Lynn, and they just fell apart. That was it. So they should have fired him. I was wrong. They should have fired him because he doesn't give a shit. And now he's just going to go back to this job, and he's got no incentive to try. Why are you raising your hand?
Remember when you argued me about me saying that you should let Chip Kelly go, and you said that it was a stupid move?
No, I said that they're realistically not going to hire anybody that is better than him. But I didn't know that he was going to go look for NFL offensive coordinator jobs. Bullshit, you wrote this down. Bullshit.
Oh, are you sure?
Read it. Just read it. Just read it.
Are you an idiot? There's no way that they should fire Chip Kelly.
I didn't call you an idiot. I don't believe you. There's no way.
I literally did my research. You know why? Because I said what has he done? And I told you, okay, you cannot convince me, all right? It's hard to win at UCLA. Joe, it's hard to win anywhere. He is in one of the more talent-rich areas in the country. Oh, well,
with academic restrictions.
Okay.
With academic restrictions.
You know what I think about your academic restrictions? Go milk a heifer, okay?
Wait.
There are so many other institutions on planet Earth that have academic restrictions. You know who you don't, oh, that's a nice shirt you're wearing right there. What's that say?
In Michigan's one of them too. But wait. But one of the best examples of the fact that they have no commitment to helping their athletics grow is their basketball program. Their basketball program was Alabama, was what Alabama was. And since John Wooden, when was that, the 80s? Since he was no longer the coach, they haven't done dick. They haven't done anything. And they have every capability with a hugely rich alumni base. All of the rich people in Los Angeles went to UCLA. All the ones that work big, important executive jobs went to UCLA. They don't care. It's impossible to win there. That was why I said that. They're not going to hire anybody, and then they're going to hire somebody just lame, and that guy's going to get fired. And then they're going to hire somebody else, and that guy's going to get fired. And it's just going to be every 4 years. Who do we think UCLA is going to hire And you're going to ask me that, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they'll hire the USC offensive coordinator. We're going to do that for the next 20 years. I don't blame them for looking elsewhere.
They should have just fired him.
I don't disagree on that part.
Look, it doesn't shock me. I mean, he's left college football for the NFL before, but here's one thing that I will tell you, okay, to combat what you were saying. You can say all of that, okay, but he doesn't like to go out and recruit. Yeah. And they sure as hell were giving him a lot of help when Dante Moore signed. So he got help from somewhere, okay? Yeah. And you and I both know that wasn't cheap, okay? So money had to come from somewhere. I got to be a little honest with you. I call a little bit of BS because you can't convince me that they have money to go pay for a top 2 quarterback in recruiting, okay, and that there's not money out there. Here's the truth, and it's always been the truth about Chip. He's a lazy recruiter.
Yeah.
He is a very lazy – he wants to call plays, draw stuff up on a napkin, and that's what he wants to do. You can do that in the NFL. You can't do that in college. I'm not taking anything away from Chip. He's one of the best offensive play callers we've ever seen, ever. He also, okay, is lazy as hell when it comes to recruiting. So spare me, all right, that, you can't find anybody better. Maybe from a play calling standpoint, you're probably right. They probably won't. But you can find a lot. You know who would go there and change it overnight?
Who?
He loves LA. Call Ed Orgeron. See what happens.
Ed Orgeron's not going to UCLA. You of all people know that. That is the furthest cultural. I mean, I would call D'Anton Lynn the DC that just left for USC. That's the first person I would call. D'Anton Lynn.
Because he can recruit. Look what he did. He literally recruited there. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it?
I would absolutely go get that guy. I think that guy is a young, bright coach. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.